Ever get the feeling you've stumbled onto something you weren't supposed to see?
Like opening the wrong email or walking into the wrong room.
Yeah, exactly. And it's too late to go back. The damage is done. You're already in too deep.
And the curiosity is killing you.
Well, today we are diving headfirst into that feeling. Buckle up because things are about to get weird.
Now lay it on me.
Okay, so imagine this. You stumble across a file online, a file called, get this, Georgia James B-side.mp3.
Okay, already sounds juicy.
Right. And the contents of this audio, let's just say they're explosive. We're talking accusations, threats, and enough bitterness to make a whole pot of coffee taste sweet.
Someone's got an axe to grind.
Big time. The voice claims to be a guy named James Whittingham.
Okay.
And he is on a tirade against someone named Georgia James, accusing them of basically stealing his entire life.
Wow. Strong accusations. Identity theft online, that's a whole other level.
And he's really upset about it. Like, really upset.
I bet. I mean, to have your identity messed with like that online, it's like someone's reaching into your head and messing with your thoughts.
Right. He keeps going on and on about his socials being messed with, saying things like someone's trying to rot the sun. It's wild.
Rot the sun. That's vivid. But what gets me is the intensity of needing to be the real James Whittingham. What's the payoff there, you know?
It's almost like this whole thing is about control. Control over how he's perceived online, who gets to be the real him.
Yeah. In a world where everyone is fighting for followers and likes, I guess it makes sense in a weird way, right? This digital persona, it's everything.
It's like his digital reputation is on the line. But there's this other layer, this weird, almost condescending tone he uses. He keeps calling Georgia James sugar like it's some kind of insult.
Interesting. Sugar. It's not explicitly aggressive, but it's definitely not a term of endearment either.
Right. It's almost like he's trying to belittle them, to make Georgia James seem smaller, less important.
Like he wants to diminish them. Take away their power with a word.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Remember how we talked about that file name? Georgia James B-side.
Yeah, like an old cassette tape.
It makes you wonder if there's a whole other side of this story, right?
Yeah.
A side A where Georgia James gets to tell their version of events.
It's like a power move. You know, putting that B-side out there. It's like saying, hey, this is just one side of the story. Don't jump to conclusions until you've heard mine.
Oh, for sure. It's like dangling bait, making you crave the other half of the story.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about the motivation behind releasing this particular audio. Is it damage control, a cry for help, or just a way to get attention?
What do you think? Is this a desperate plea for control, or is there something more we're missing? What would make you want to hear side A to get the full story?
You know me. Give me all the information. The truth? It's rarely black and white, right? There are always shades of gray, and in this case, I think there are probably a whole lot of them.
Georgia James, sugar, 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 little bass runner, trying to take from the king. Shush your punk ass and kiss the ring. Only one James Whittingham, and that ain't you. Georgia James, Georgia James, playing your Georgia games. Sugar, 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 little bass runner. Will the real James Whittingham stand up? Stand up. Can he actually stand up? Think you can't, little Georgia James? Ha, ha. Stand up. Can he actually stand up? Think you can't, little Georgia James? Ha. Do who? I did it do. I'm not you, you not me. Real James Whittingham here for all to see. You think you a player, little league player? I'm king, kiss the ring. You ain't nothing, wow, I'm something. Will the real James Whittingham stand up? Stand up. Can he actually stand up? Think he can? Woo! Sugar, sugar, sugar. Bitch, get off my page. Punk ass kid, slumping on third base with your lid. Fuck off, real James Whittingham, go get rid. What? Woo! Goodbye, so long, baby James. Will the real James Whittingham stand up? Stand up. Can he actually stand up? Think he can, Georgia James? No, playing games, but you ain't James. You nothing, you ain't nothing, son. Real James Whittingham is the one. You a boy? I'm a man. Yes, I am, boy. Ha, I'm the man, yeah. You a baller? First time caller? Fuck you, I'm taller, bitch. Sugar, sugar, sugar. Georgia James, Alfred E. Newman. Huh? Taking over my socials. Yeah, I'm gonna be vocal. You're damn right. Rock in the Georgia sun. Yup, I'm the real James Whittingham. So what? Yeah, sugar, sugar, sugar. I'm the real James Whittingham.
Part where he says, rot the sun. You think you can just rot the sun? Rot the sun. I mean, you can practically hear the keyboard keys melting from the rage. What could possibly lead someone to wish fiery doom on the very star that gives us life?
That's the thing about online identity these days. It's not just about being online. For a lot of people, it's an extension of themselves, their real life, their connections. So when someone comes in and tries to mess with that, it can feel like a very personal attack. That use of sugar, it's condescending, especially in this context.
It's like he's trying to sweeten the blow of his accusations while also trying to paint Georgia James in a certain light, which, let's be honest, adds a whole other layer of messed up to this whole situation. But here's where it gets really interesting. We've got Whittingham's meltdown, his rot the sun rant, that weird use of sugar. Helada. But what if we rewind right back to the beginning? What could Georgia James reveal that would totally change how we see this whole thing?
What if side A paints Whittingham as, well, not exactly the victim he's making himself out to be?
Okay, you're going to have to spell this out for me.
Imagine side A tells us that Whittingham is actually known for this kind of online drama. Maybe he's the type of guy who loves attention, even if it's negative.
Oh, like that person who posts these super vague, dramatic statuses just to get everyone worked up, and then they're all, oh, it's nothing, when someone finally asks what's wrong.
Exactly. And what if side A reveals a pattern of this behavior from Whittingham? Suddenly that rot the sun rant doesn't seem so much like righteous anger and more like, well, a performance.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're going with this. So what else could be hiding on side A?
Let's flip the script a little. We're assuming Georgia James is a person, right?
Right, another human being causing all this chaos.
What if it's not a who at all? What if it's a what?
Hold on, are we going full sci-fi thriller here? Is Georgia James some kind of rogue AI?
Not quite AI, but think about how much of the internet runs on algorithms these days. What if Whittingham somehow got caught up in some kind of social media glitch?
So instead of a master hacker, we've got a case of the digital gremlins.
Exactly. And the thing is, we might never hear side A. This mystery might never be solved.
So, what then? Are we supposed to choose sides? Team James or Team Georgia James? Or maybe the real lesson here is that sometimes there are no sides, just a whole lot of questions. So where does that leave us?
Up in the air, right.
Right, we want answers, we want to know who's telling the truth, but... So as we wrap things up here, I'm left with one last question for everyone listening. What's your side A? What's the story you tell online? And what happens when someone tries to rewrite it? Just something to think about as you scroll through your feeds today. Until next time. Stay curious.
Georgia James. Sugar. Little bass runner, trying to take from the king. Shut your punk ass and kiss the ring. Only one James Whittingham, and that ain't you, Georgia James. Yeah, Georgia James. Playing your Georgia games. Sugar. Little bass runner. Real James Whittingham, stand up. Stand up. Can't. Little Georgia James. Do who bop diddy do. I'm not you not me. Real James Whittingham for all to see. You think you a player? Little league player. I'm king. Kiss the ring. You ain't nothing while I'm something.